The greatest obstacle for humanity to discovering the truth has always been the human being himself. And the miniseries Chernobyl makes this painfully clear. The greatest catastrophe of this nuclear power plant in communist Soviet Union is not ignorance, but people who have access to the truth and still choose to deny it, or worse, a state regime built on lies. A dictatorship that claims to pursue the happiness of all mankind, but in reality becomes a brutal machine of power, designed to drain freedom and silence reality. In this story, we witness the story of human corruption at every level. From the lowest-ranking worker seeking a small promotion to the highest offices of the state, catastrophe unfolds the moment truth is ignored and nobody wants to know what really happened in this nuclear accident. What's striking is how easily we fabricate narratives in our own minds while rejecting what stands clearly before us, reality itself. And worse still, once the denial begins, the hole only grows deeper. A rotten system of governance that no longer seeks the well-being of its people, but instead exists solely to suppress the truth in the name of party loyalty. Claiming that it alone will provide what is right for everyone, but actually creating a snowball effect, corruption multiplies, responsibility disappears, and human life itself is slowly demolished. Everyone who becomes involved along this path is eventually swallowed by a government determined to suppress the truth. The lives of the heroes, or rather, of those who should have been heroes for seeking the truth, are consumed one by one. From the first workers who were denied the truth by their immediate superiors, to the firefighters who simply tried to do their duty, to the first scientist who clearly saw the catastrophe unfolding before his eyes and was forced to fight against the undeniable. In this sense, the story shows us that what emerges is not only decay. The structures of the Soviet regime inevitably lead to corruption, but within that system, there were also people trying to do their duty. And even they can become corrupted. Boris Shcherbina, for example, ultimately does the right thing. He does everything within his power to contain the nuclear disaster. Yet, for most of his life, he had believed in a lie. He devoted himself entirely to a false pursuit, the desire to become important within the communist system. And in the end, even after fulfilling his duty and giving everything he had, he realizes that his life had been absorbed by a structure that led nowhere. The same tension appears in Valery Legasov. He is a man who genuinely seeks solutions, someone who seems almost providentially placed within a rotten system to fulfill a mission. And yet, even he is pushed into compromise, forced to temporarily suppress the truth, to sacrifice countless lives in the name of containment, as if the state, in the end, did not truly care about the people it claimed to serve. We witness this in the path of the miners who willingly sacrificed themselves to dig that tunnel and prevent millions of deaths, in the journey of Lyudmila, who loses her husband and her future child, and even the fate of ordinary soldiers, already broken by a failed war, who are condemned, alongside a young recruit, to kill stray dogs. All this life destroyed for nothing, by the incompetence of government and the people within it, individuals driven by rotten goals, a small promotion, personal advancement, or the desperate attempt to preserve the artificial image of a regime that serves no one. So how can we place our lives, our power and our responsibility into the hands of a government, whether communist or any other, that survives by manufacturing false truths while exploiting its own people? A system ruled by individuals who do not seek the common good, but only their own advancement? Perhaps no nuclear reactor is exploding right now, wherever you are watching this from. But the ghost of Chernobyl lives on, inside each of us, whenever we suppress the truth in our own lives, or convince ourselves that the government will somehow solve everything for us. We must take responsibility for ourselves. Otherwise, we too will be buried by the truth we refuse to face. And as Chernobyl's disaster makes painfully clear, the cost of a lie echoes into eternity.